Bottom Line with Ellie Pineda.
Welcome to The Bottom Line. Ako ang inyong host, si Tito Ellie Pineda, para na naman sa isang makabuluhang usapin tungkol sa ating bansa. Ngayon ako'y dito nagdala ng mga eksperto sa larangan ng sosyolohiya para bigyan tayo ng kaalaman tungkol sa kulturang pangmasa at kulturang popular. Halina tawagin natin si Miss Rafaela de Jesus para alamin nga ba kung ano ang usapin tungkol sa bagay na ito.
Hello, Tita Ellie. First of all, we would like to thank you for inviting us here. So, to start, the term culture as articulated by Raymond Williams has evolved to be one of the most complex words in the English language. Initially, it was rooted from the Latin word culere, which had a range of meanings like inhabit, cultivate, protect, and honor with worship. So, cultura took on the main meaning of cultivation and attending of something. Its French forms were couture, initially referred to the tending of natural growth, and later on, metaphorically extended to encompass human development. Then, the term gained its modern abstract sense in the 18th century, reflecting a gradual evolution in meaning. The complexity arises from the fact that culture is not a static entity, rather, it is a dynamic and constantly evolving. It reflects the accumulated wisdom, experiences, and expressions of a community over time. Sa madaling salita, the definition of culture goes beyond a mere collection of practices and traditions. Hence, it contains the essence of shared human experiences. It shapes the fundamental aspects of how people perceive the world and interact within it.
So, Miss Rafaela, are you saying that culture is anything that we've created, cultivated, ba? If that makes sense, do you think showbiz is also culture? Because there's a long history of showbiz or talk shows in the Philippine industry. Is that the same?
Yes, Tito Ellie, we can say that. According to Bernard, the problem with Philippine culture starts with the Filipino identity, or the nationalism itself. So, sinasabi kasi dito na since then, there was no consciousness of national identity. That great island was inhabited by people who were basically of the same race, but they were not conscious that they were one people and one nation. So, kung babalikan natin yung history ng Pilipinas, partikular na nung panahon ng pananakop ng mga Kastila, kung saan pinagalaban dito ni Rizal yung kahalagahan ng nasyonalismo ng mga Pilipino, na kailangan nating tangkilikin yung sariling atin upang hindi mawala yung ating pagkakakilanlan. And maybe, that's the problem that we are still facing up until now, since we are still being influenced by different cultures, which, as stated by Doreen Fernandez, it is a concern or recent awareness. Ibig sabihin kasi, alam natin yung nationality natin, and we consider ourselves to be a Filipino, pero yung essence and yung culture, hindi natin siya nabibigyan ng justice.
Alam mo, pwede natin matawag na artificial lamang ang ating kultura, no? Pero I definitely agree na even though it doesn't necessarily mean na it doesn't represent us, it is still something that dapat linangin ng bawat isa because we still have the core values residing within the said artificial Filipino culture.
This is related to the study of Guillermo regarding the artificial mass culture, which refers to the cultural expressions and forms that are manipulated by the dominant class for mass consumption. So, sinasabi niya dito na yung kultura natin ay hindi natural or organic reflection ng ating true interests and aspirations. Pero, binuo siya para mapunan yung interes ng mga ruling elite. Ang purpose kasi nito is to control and keep the masses uncritical, ignorant, and subservient. So, di ba during the Spanish colonial period, ginamit ng mga Kastila yung kamangmangan ng mga Pilipino to enslave us. At sa panahon ngayon, isa sa mga problemang kinaharap pa rin natin ay ang corruption. Ang problem kasi sa democracy is yung mga uneducated voters. May mga politiko na bumibili ng boto ng mahihirap and they are using their ignorance for their own good. So we can say na history repeats itself talaga eh. Way back then, the historical control of Filipino culture by the colonists and the media manipulation during the Marcos regime can be likened to a puppeteer pulling the strings. They dictate the narrative and shape societal perceptions. Presently, this extends to social media platforms and televisions, where the influencers and media outlets act as the modern puppeteers. They have the power kasi to influence public opinion and shape cultural norms. mirroring the historical patterns of external control.
Exactly. Democracy, when the majority of the people are controlled by a select few and is not capable of making decisions for themselves, not capable of thinking critically, then I wouldn't say that's a very efficient democracy. The only time it will be efficient is that if anyone knows how to think for themselves, if anyone can think critically. But unfortunately, that isn't always the case, and I don't think it's any different than here in the Philippines. But with that being said, I think Miss Aliyah has something to say about popular culture in the Philippines.
So the thing is, Tito Eli, popular culture as per Doreen Fernandez has no exact definition. So hindi talaga natin masasabi kung ano ba talaga ang popular culture since it has multiple meanings according to various experts, and it really varies among people depending of course on their interpretation and understanding of the two words popular and culture. Pero to give a general take on the concept, popular culture in its sense is a culture, of course, meaning ideas, perspectives, and practices that is extensively favored by many people at a given time. So it influences or changes the belief, attitudes, and preferences of an individual. So gaya ng sinasabi natin ngayon na trends or kung ano yung nauuso. For example, yung mga fashion trends, let's say yung mga baggy jeans, baggy sweaters. So, ikaw, kunwari, hindi mo naman talaga masyadong gusto yung mga ganon. Pero dahil trending, at dahil patok, dahil uso, syempre makikiuso ka, di ba? So, popular culture has that power to influence a person's perceptions and interests.
Actually, Miss Aliyah, I can attest to that myself. Kasi way back 2015, 2016, ganun din ako eh. I was more into tight skinny jeans. Pero for now, parang straight cut jeans, baggy jeans, like, it's like you practically forgot about skinny jeans. Pero, what do you think is the reason behind this? What is the popular culture behind this ba?
What makes it popular is the fact that it is highly accessible to anyone, regardless of their social status. Like literature, movies, clothes, music, even nga yung mga napapanood natin sa TikTok are popular culture. And they all can be accessed by the masses since it is transmitted through mass media. But even so, kasama sa popular culture ang concept ng time. So, bukod sa ideas siya, bukod sa trends siya, bukod sa galing siya sa wide audience. Katangian rin ng popular culture is yung trend niya is only for a certain period of time. And it is constantly changing or evolving. Kaya nga, pop culture. Meaning, ngayon lang siya popular. And there will come a time na mawawala rin yung popularity ng idea na yun and will give way to new trends.
Okay, so what you're telling me, Miss Aliyah, is that popular culture is something that is very dynamic and it's constantly dependent upon the likes of the majority, ganun ba? With this in mind, paano sa tingin mo na-maintain yung popular culture? Like, what is the motivation para continuously mapalinang tong kulturang to?
Well, pop culture is motivated through the interests of the people, ano? Lalo na now that we live in a globalized society and we're continuously trying to keep up with the trends and trying to connect or relate with one another. Parang nangyari na usap-usapan lang yung breakup ng isang celebrity couple, gusto mo na rin makasagap ng chismis para makarelate ka sa madla, di ba? And another thing, according to Tolentino, it is maintained naman through its dissemination with the use of technology and more importantly, social media and the internet. So it is sustained thanks to these electronic media and digital platforms. Also, popular culture is maintained because of the current society that we live in. And I think that it is very much likely to survive for the next years or even centuries to come.
Ngayon nga nabigyan linaw na ni Miss Rafaela at Miss Aliyah gaano kalawak at komplikadong bagay itong kulturang Pilipino, pati yung kultura sa ating mga buhay at sa ating na rin pagkakakilanlan. Mabuti siguro ang pag-aralan natin kung ano yung mga uri ng kultura na maapekto rito o parte nito. Pero, tsaka na muna yan dahil magbabalik ang The Bottom Line with Ellie Pineda after ng isang commercial.